And we're in the kitchen with Chef Mark Taylor from Fire and Vine in Virginia Beach. Mark, we're getting crabby, aren't we?
Yeah, a little bit crabby.
You're getting crabby this morning. What are we doing this morning?
What we're going to do is some fresh jumbo lump crab cakes. The crab meat's local. It's from the Chesapeake Bay, and we're going to keep it really simple with some simple ingredients. Very little binder, little lemon juice, little basil, fresh parsley, lemon zest, and a tiny bit of sugar.
When it comes to crab cakes, sometimes less is more?
I would have to agree with you on that. Yeah.
All right, Mark Taylor from Fire and Vine. We're going to get started in just a couple minutes. Welcome back to the Hampton Roads Show. In the kitchen today, I'm with Chef Mark Taylor from Fire and Vine in Virginia Beach. He's making a menu favorite for us this morning, jumbo lump crab cakes with roasted corn salsa and house-made tartar. Mark, welcome back to the Hampton Roads Show. You've been here before, but you've brought one of your favorites with you, and everybody likes crab cakes.
Yeah, definitely. In this area especially, no matter where you go in the United States, crab cakes are referred to as, when using blue crab, as Maryland crab cakes. So
yeah, I'm not real thrilled about that.
Yeah, I'm kind of chapped about it too.
We don't have crabs here in Virginia.
Exactly. But I think the gist of it is that they come from the Chesapeake Bay, and we live on the Chesapeake Bay, and this crab meat is local and from the Chesapeake Bay, and I think people really like to support their local ingredients here in Virginia Beach and Hampton Roads in this area. So, you know, I thought it would be, since crab meat's in season, I thought it would be a good choice to use some fresh local jumbo lump crab.
All right, Mark, get us started.
Well, what you always want to do when you're making crab cakes, the most important thing is removing the shell from the jumbo lump crab meat. And when you do that, you want to be really gentle and careful not to break the lumps apart too far. And because, you know, the thing with the local jumbo lump crab cakes is that you want to show these lumps.
Right.
And you want to keep these things together, and you kind of want to pick the shell out of the ends of these and try to keep the lump intact.
Back fin.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, after you've taken all the shell out, you know, and you can see that pretty orange in there, that's the roe coming from the female crabs, and that's, you know, one of the traits of the Chesapeake Bay crab meat is that roe, and that really has a nice sweet flavor to it. So what you want to do, after you've removed the shell from it, is you want to add the flavoring ingredients, and what we use is some Dijon mustard and a little bit of roasted garlic, lemon juice, lemon zest, and some herbs. And with that, you know, you're going to get your flavor profile. And after you've added that kind of stuff to get your flavor, that's a little bit of fresh parsley. This is some fresh basil right here.
That's got to add a lot of taste to it, right?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to hit it with a little bit of sugar.
Sugar, sweeten it up a little, huh?
Yeah. And I'm going to hit it with a tiny, tiny bit of pureed roasted garlic. A little garlic and everything. Now, after we do that, we're going to get to what we call the binding agent, and all this stuff is what's going to hold it together. And what I have here is some white bread with the crust cut off, and it's been cut into cubes. And what this is going to do is it's going to absorb the moisture when we mix it all together and keep it from falling apart before it's cooking.
You're really not adding a great deal to it. You're just adding a lot of flavor.
Well, yeah, and the whole idea with a crab cake is to just kind of let the crab meat be what it is. You know, that's what everybody wants to taste with this, you know, fresh jumbo lump crab meat. It's a, go ahead.
What were you just adding there, that last bit?
The last bit was the panko breadcrumb, which is a dry Japanese ground breadcrumb.
A more binder.
Yep,
sure.
And it has very little flavor to it. It's very neutral.
Keeps it together.
Exactly, and what that's going to do is it's just going to soak up the moisture just like the cube bread. And we're going to add a tiny bit of mayonnaise to it to hold it all together, you know, and then what you do is you're going to mix all this up, and basically what you're shooting for here is a little crab cake just like this. Now, after I shape out these crab cakes, I like to let them sit in the refrigerator for at least 2 hours or so they can kind of set back up.
Right.
You know, because after they've been out and you've mixed it all together, you know, everything's going to get a little bit warm. So, you know, you want to give it a little bit of time in the refrigerator, and everything will set back up. The moisture will settle. The panko breadcrumb and the white bread cubes will start to do their thing, and they'll absorb the moisture. And what that's going to do is give you a nice cake that's going to take a nice sear when you put it in the pan and hold it together. And
do you want to start cooking it now, or do you want to save that for the next segment?
we can do it in the next segment.
Okay.
Yeah. It's only going to take a second.
Okay, so real quickly about Fire and Vine. I know this is you've had a busy season, but right now I know you've got a lot of things going on there at the restaurant.
Well, what we try to do is 7 days a week we do a happy hour from 4 to 6 with half-price wood-fired pizzas and some drink specials and a good deal on wine flights.
Right.
And that's been real successful for us. We change the menu every day. We try to source all fresh local ingredients, and everything we do at one point or another is cooked over live wood.
Yeah, and we're going to talk more about Fire and Vine in a few minutes. They have an extensive wine list there. Mark Taylor with the crab cakes. We're going to cook these babies up in just a few minutes. Great job, Mark. All right, not enough sports teams, but we got plenty of great restaurants. Back now in the Hampton Roadshow kitchen with Executive Chef Mark Taylor from Fire and Vine in Virginia Beach. He's making one of the menu favorites, jumbo lump crab cakes. Mark, you put them together in the first segment. Let's cook these things.
Okay. What we're going to do now is got our pan nice and hot, and we added just a small amount of oil to them. And what we're going to do is swish that around and make sure that the pan is coated. What I'm using is a Calphalon non-stick pan. Distributes the heat nice and evenly, and you don't have an issue with the crab cake sticking to the pan, which really,
Okay, a little bit of sizzle. I know you want to hear that.
really simplifies things. But what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to put a nice crust on these crab cakes and turn them over one time before we put them in the oven. And at Fire and Vine, what we do is we take them out of the oven and we finish them on the wood-fired grill so they can take on some of the smoke flavor, which is what makes them unique. But being as we don't have a wood-fired grill here,
We'll work on that. We'll work on it. Next time you come back, we'll see if we can get you on. Stephanie, see if you can put a wood stove. Okay, she said done.
Thank you.
Yeah, all right, Mark. So you're going to put a little crust on that and then put them in the oven and then bring them out and cook to perfection.
That is correct.
Now,
That's exactly what we're
one of
gonna
the
do.
things about Fire and Vine is I know you're very proud of the fact that you have an extensive wine cellar with tons of choices. Talk about that.
Absolutely. Well, we built when we were designing the concept, we built a 5,000 bottle wine cellar, and what we've been doing is working to fill that cellar over the course of the last 5 years. We've picked up a Wine Spectator Award of Excellence for the last 2 years, which we're very proud of course, and we've picked up a couple local awards as well. And what we try to do is sell a lot of wine by the glass and a lot of wine in what's called a flight, which is 3 pours of 2.5 ounces each. And what the idea is behind the flight is that your patron gets to try 3 different types of wine before they make an actual decision on what type of bottle they want to buy or what type of glass they want to buy. So the idea behind that is you have lower end wines and of course your higher end wines, but you're introducing wine to every level of wine drinker. You don't have to come in. It's not pretentious. You don't have to spend a lot of money to enjoy wine.
I know a lot of people prefer that so they can try different wines.
Absolutely.
What goes well with the crab cake?
I would have to say, if I was going to make a choice with the crab cake, I would have to say a Pinot Grigio would be my first choice. Now, you can always choose and drink whatever it is that you like. And that's the kind of the whole thing where I think wine got a bad rap and became very pretentious, and it pushed a lot of people away from it. Is if you like a certain type of wine, then you can drink that certain type of wine with almost anything. But there are certain pairings, I believe, as a chef, that go better with certain types of proteins or fish or shellfish or, components in a dish.
Okay, Mark, we're running towards the end of the segment. Go ahead and wrap it up the best you can.
Okay.
Time for the flip.
Yep.
Part of me would want to smash those down, but that's not the way it's done at Fire and Vine.
No, I'm not going to smash them down.
I know. Served nice and thick and juicy.
Yeah.
Okay, if you want to check out Mark and some of the fine food at Fire and Vine, check him out at Hilltop East Shopping Center at 1556 Laskin Road in Virginia Beach. Give him a call at 333-4824. Of course, check him out online at fireandvine.com. So what are you doing now, Mark? Just flipped?
Yep, we just flipped them over, and now what we're going to do is we're going to cook them all the way through, and then we're going to plate them up. So there's really nothing to it. All we're waiting for now is for the heat to pass all the way through the crab cake.
Okay, Mark's going to wrap this up in a few minutes. We got a very special guest in studio today, and after that, we're going to try Mark's creation.